Hello everyone and welcome back. Today I'm going to be making, I don't know if you can see it too well because I've only got the mould to show you here, but it's a hoodie pen holder. So I thought it'd be quite nice to make for maybe a student that's going away to university soon or something, just to have on their desk with some pens and things in. And also this little pot here, which is just like a lotus flower with a ribbed design on it. The reason I'm doing these is because I want to do a bit of an experiment. I always use Resincrete for Eco Resin, and it's lovely. It really is a lovely powder, but it is quite expensive. So I noticed the other day I buy things from Temu, and I had one of these things they send through that has lots of offers and things on it. And one of the things that they were offering was their Eco Resin. So I've ordered this from Temu. It's a honey rose one. Now you do have to be careful. I ordered this without really looking at it that carefully because it was just so cheap, so I thought I'll go for it. But this one is a 4:1 by weight ratio, whereas most of the other powders that you get are 3:1, and you can get a lot on Temu which is 3:1. I just wasn't looking at it very carefully. So this is 4:1, which gave me a bit of a problem because I thought, how do I work out how much I need for the mould? Because I always usually use the Resincrete calculator that comes on the website. But of course, this being 4:1 is completely different. So I used my friend Google, and she insists that it's going to be 39.3 grams of water to 157.1 grams of powder to fill this with about 10% extra to spare. Now my scales aren't that precise, so I have actually done 40 grams of water to 160 grams of powder, so we should have plenty. But the other thing I'm also going to do is use one of these colours. Again, this is from Temu, and it is made for Eco Resin. 36 colours, lots of lovely colours in there. The one that we're going to use for this particular project is the avocado green. So we're going to see A, how well the powder mixes, B, how well it mixes in the colours, how well it sets. So yeah, we'll give it a go and see. This one here, sorry, I've just jogged the camera. This one here, I'm going to do separately after I've done this one, because this one I'm colouring. This one I'm going to do separately afterwards, because I'm going to do that just in white, because I have made this one previously. Unfortunately, I was going to do a comparison with Resincrete, but I haven't got enough Resincrete left. So I have previously made one of those out of Resincrete, and I thought it'd be quite nice to do this in white and just see what the difference in colour is between the two. So I've got it all measured up. So we'll start first of all with doing the hoodie. So I've got my water in here and my powder in here. So we'll mix it in and see how well it mixes. Just looking at it, you wouldn't really be able to tell any difference with the texture or anything, but we will see what happens when we mix it. Get it all out. That's it. And give it a good stir. Now straight away I can tell that's not enough water, as you can see. So we do need some more water, which I've got some to hand. I'll put a little bit more in. Well, I probably needed a bit more than that, didn't I? It could have been my scales. My scales aren't great. I really need to get some new ones. I was going to do 38 grams of water, and then it jumped to 40, and it really wouldn't go to 39 as it suggested. So I thought, oh well, I'll leave it as it is. I'm just going to put a tiny bit more in. Probably a bit too much there. Now Resincrete, I know the others are just as good as well, but I've only used Resincrete. I know Resincrete is very forgiving. You can add more powder in, you can add more water in, just to give it different textures and things. So hopefully this is just as forgiving. It seems to have mixed in now, no lumps. So now we'll try the colour. So this is avocado green. We'll see what that comes out like. Give it a good few drops of that. Probably need some more. Definitely need some more. That's very pale, isn't it? I don't think that's the colours. I think that's the nature of the resin crate. And of course, when this dries, it gets even more pale because the whiteness comes through. So try and make sure we can get it as dark as possible. A bit more, I think. I hope you're enjoying my videos. If you do like them, please do click the like button and subscribe. And then if you subscribe, it will notify you when any of my other videos come out, so you won't miss anything. Right, I'm just wondering if we put in another colour. I've got a darker green in here, which is just called green. So let's try that one. I might need to pierce the top. Oh no, I think it's open. I have never used these, so they obviously come open. You don't need to pierce the top like you do with the resin colours. Might leave it like that. Let's try it like that. Let's see what that looks like, shall we? So, our mould ready. Pour a bit in. Give it a bit of a bang. Pour the rest in. Yeah, don't have too much left over. So it's probably worth adding that extra 10% on. In fact, I would say that's pretty much bang on. I'll just give it a little tap, try and get rid of some of the bubbles. Sorry, this is probably tapping the camera, isn't it? Maybe just get a little bit more out to go in there. Nearly there. Definitely didn't have any extras. So if you do use Google to work out, ask it to add on 10%. Otherwise, it was pretty much spot on. Probably have even done with a little teeny tiny bit more, but we won't worry about that. Give it a bit of a tap. Let those bubbles come up. There we are. I hope it's going to hold its shape. It might be going out of shape slightly, I'm not sure. We'll see when we demould it. Right, so that's that one done. I'm going to clean up, reweigh out some more, and then we'll do the white one. Right, I've mixed it all up now. One thing I would say is that that colour stained this bowl. So if you've got something that you're precious about, please don't use that colour. I've got a feeling it will probably have stained there for the mould, but never mind. I did need to add more water again into this. So I think perhaps this powder is just a little bit more thirstier than what it's meant to be. Probably could have done with a little bit more water in there actually, quite thick. Now demould time, I'm not sure on this. It says on the packet, working time 20 minutes, 30 minutes demould, fully cured in 2 hours. So I'm hoping that these will be ready in about half an hour. I think I might be a little bit short on this one. Did add on the extra 10% again, but might just be a little bit short because I did add more water into that one, didn't I? So that's probably bulked it up a little bit. That's not too bad. Oops, nearly dropped that. It's a bit short, out as much as we can. It could just really do with a little bit more in there, but that will be enough for our experiment. Again, give it a tap. Try and make sure we get rid of all those bubbles. Again, Resincrete I know is very good at releasing bubbles, but we'll see what this one is like. So we'll put those to one side and we'll be back in about half an hour to see if they're cured. See you then. I actually ended up leaving these for about an hour, I think it is now. I came up after 20 minutes and you may see on there that there's a little bit of a mark there where I stuck my finger in it to test it, and it clearly wasn't done. They are still quite warm, but say it's been nearly an hour now, especially since I've done this one. So we'll try demoulding them anyway and see how it goes. So let's have a look. This is a lovely soft mould. The mould came from Temu as well, actually. Let's have a look. I think I might have a few bubbles here and there. Just turn this the right way around. There's a slight discoloration on the mould, which I'm not surprised about because it did on the mixing bowl. The mixing bowl here has got quite a bit of discoloration in there, but it didn't affect the white that I mixed up for this pot, so it's not going to be a problem. It is just a staining. And there's the little pen pot. So there's a few little holes there. That's, I think, me rather than the actual powder. But it's worked well. The colours worked well. It certainly mixed in well, but I would say that the powder is probably a little bit more thirstier than what it normally is. But the colours blended in nicely, and it's certainly set okay. Gave it longer, but it has certainly set okay. I'll have a look at the bowl. Google also seemed to be quite accurate at working out the amounts that we needed of powder to water. As it doesn't really matter with the normal 3:1 because there are the other calculators on the Resincrete website, etc. But when it's 4:1, it was handy to get Google to do it. And it did do it quite well, but you do need to say to it to add an extra 10 to 20% on just to give you that little bit of extra, just to make sure, because we certainly didn't have any left over. Get that one out of there. Again, turn that round. And that one's come out really nicely. There's no bubbles in that one. That one's really come out nice. A little bit of bubbles down the bottom there, but again, that's me, I think, rather than the powder. Comparing it to the colour on the Resincrete, there's not an awful lot of difference in it. This one has been glazed, so we'll make a little bit of difference. So we will compare them side to side once this one's been glazed as well. But this one is quite white. It's quite a white powder, which is nice. So what I'll do is I will leave them to dry now for 24 hours. And then we will give them a coat of glaze and we'll see how it takes that. These are all dried nicely now. So in keeping with the Temu theme, I'm going to try this clay varnish that I got from Temu to seal these. I haven't used it yet. I ordered it and a bit of a mistake. I didn't realise how small the bottle was going to be. I do that a lot with Temu. But I thought we'll give it a go with these, just so keeping the theme of trying everything out from Temu. Now this does come with a brush. I might give it a bit of a shake first. This comes with a brush, but I don't want to use the brush because it tends to leave brush marks, so I'd much rather just use a sponge. And what I usually do is just tip it into a little pot. And with the case of something like this, which is a pot, I would pour a little bit in and just swirl it around inside it. And then tip the rest out. Oh, there's a bit of colour came out on that, wasn't there? So maybe the Temu colours aren't very water fast, so we'll go over it again, just to the bits that it didn't go up to, around the edges. We'll see how this dries on there. There we are, that's that first coat on for it. I'm sure you don't want to sit here watch me go through the whole lot again with the pot, but I will do the same with the pot. And then when they've dried, I will give them another couple of coats and then we'll come back and have a look at them when they're done. But I did just want to show you something else that has arrived today. I ordered some more Eco Resin from Temu, and this has arrived today. It's a humongous pot. Don't know if you can, let me see if I can move the camera up a little bit to get it all in for you. Sorry about the wobble. It's a huge pot. It's got 3 kilograms, which is 6.6 pounds. It is the same company as what I used to make the hoodie and the pot, and it is 3 to 1. I've made sure that this one was 3 to 1. Now I ordered this, I think it took 5 weeks to arrive, and the reason why it takes 5 weeks is because it's so heavy, they don't send it out by plane. It's not air. So it comes over by land. So it does take, and they do tell you that at the beginning, that it has to come by land. So you are aware of that. So you have to be sure that you're not in a mad rush for it or anything like that. But when it comes, obviously it is huge. And that, I think the normal price for it is about £14–15. And this was on offer, one of their offers that came out again. And I actually paid £6.86 for it. So as you can tell, it's a bargain, really. I don't think, I think Resincrete is marginally better, but for doing lots of demos and things like that, I think this is going to be ideal. I would obviously carry on using Resincrete for anything that I wanted, probably, for myself or for gifts or anything like that. But this is perfect for doing demonstrations and things. So I just thought I'd show you that so you could see how big a pot it was, how much you got, and how much it cost me. This, if you're watching it later, we're now in June 2026. So just in case you're watching this later on. So that's that. And these, as soon as they've dried out a bit, I'll do another coat. I'll do a first coat on this one now, do another coat on these, and then we'll be back to you to have a look at the end results. These have dried now, and the pen pot's come out quite nicely, I think. Makes a nice little pot for somebody's desk. The glaze that I put on has dried well. When I first put the first glaze on, as you could see, there was a little bit of the green came out, only a very small amount. But the second layer I put on, there was nothing at all. So obviously it did its job and it did seal it. So that's quite good. There's the back of it. And this little pot here, just to compare it to the one I made earlier with Resincrete, there is really no difference at all in them. The colour's pretty much the same. They came out just as well. So really, that is a really good substitute for the big brands if you get your powder on offer when it's at Temu. And as I say, you don't need to be in a rush for it to come. So that one that I did recently took 5 weeks to come. Anyway, I hope you've enjoyed my video. Please like the video if you did, if you did like it, and please subscribe so that you get notifications of when any more of my videos come out. And I will see you next time. Bye for now.